Well, Gary, our top story today, new details emerging about that hack attack on Fort Lauderdale. You might remember it. It's costing taxpayers a lot of money. The story broke earlier from last month in December. The infamous hacker group Anonymous unleashed an attack on the city's official website. The police website and Mayor Jack Seiler's personal website also taken down for a short period after those cyber attacks. Anonymous was essentially holding those website pages hostage while demanding at the same time that Fort Lauderdale overturned that, of course, infamous homeless feeding ordinance. You remember that one as well. In fact, the group posted this video to YouTube.
We have a list of demands, and if not met, then we shall shut down the main site of Fort Lauderdale and among other sites. Our demands are to lift the ordinance numbers C-14 to 38.
Now, at the time, city officials promised no critical city services were impacted. But anyone who did try to log on and pay their utility bill or look for government information, they were locked out. Now, Mayor Seiler said Anonymous hadn't actually hacked technically the city website, but instead they flooded those servers with so much data that it shut down. Either way you look at it, in the specifics, I don't know, those attacks did damage the Fort Lauderdale taxpayers. Nearly $500,000 of cost in computer security. The city just spent $430,000 to try and improve their overall cybersecurity there. And in other news, nearly $1 million missing from a company in Fort Lauderdale. Now a suspect behind bars. She was the accountant. That's no joke. The one in charge of the books. We're learning new details about an arrest made just days before Christmas. It happened on December 23rd. Police arrested Deerfield Beach native Ndayara Mata. Now she's been in jail ever since, but until now, we didn't know exactly why. Detectives say the 41-year-old Mata was running an elaborate scheme while working as the CFO for Business Cards Tomorrow Incorporated. Investigators believe Mata was embezzling money to pay from the company to pay for her own credit cards, and even $100,000 of that money went to pay off her luxury Maserati sports car. It's a nice gig. Detectives say the scheme goes back almost 6 years and that Mata has been siphoning off bits of that money ever since. A judge set her bail at $250,000. In Broward, a debate rages over the police on college campuses. Should the guys with fully loaded weapons be allowed to freeload on a state campus? That's the question. It's all over free living in exchange for free security. But you know what they say, you usually get what you pay for. And in this case, the colleges are complaining the police are not providing their end of the bargain. They're not holding up their end of the deal. These colleges, they say they haven't seen enough of a decline in on-campus crime, and the cost of covering all these officers is getting pretty expensive. At least 32 different officers live on campus, and several reports indicate they don't even respond to 73% of the alarms that go off, let alone preventing crimes from happening before they take place. Now there's a proposal on the floor that would start phasing out this program altogether. After a full audit, college administrators are very upset. They say they're spending nearly $11,000 per officer every single year, and they found some disturbing trends in that audit. Not only were the officers not reducing the crime, but some of them were actually taking advantage of the situation. One officer was subletting his trailer out to other people, trying to turn a profit on it. They weren't even police officers, those people living there. That's a clear violation of the rules. Another officer had moved away to Texas, left his trailer, didn't tell anyone he was leaving, and actually tried to sell the trailer off to somebody else while he was gone. The administrators say he kept it locked up, didn't give the school a key, and they had a hard time getting inside. Now, the attorney representing these 32 police officers blames the school for not doing a better job of supervising the police. And in other news, a big financial decision looming at the City Commission in Delray Beach. They're about to decide whether or not to spend over $4 million. This is a big story. It's all over the affordable housing complex Auburn Trace. Now, not very affordable for the city, it turns out. $4.2 million the price tag. The commissioners voted to loan that money initially to Auburn Group several years ago through a federal grant program to help them build the complex. The developers actually owe even more money to a bank. They took out $4.7 million in loans, and they still owe all of that money back. Now, the Auburn Group filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. We've seen this before. Now, a judge has to decide who gets rights to the property, the bank or the city. But in court documents, they claim the property is worth around $10 million. So in order to keep the property from going into bank-owned foreclosure, the city could spend another $4.2 million to buy back that property. Now, city leaders promise the people living there in the facility will not be impacted by their decision. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this story as we learn more. And new laws might not allow local firefighters to raise money on the side of the road anymore, but that doesn't mean they don't deserve a raise. Boynton Beach lawmakers just voted to give city firefighters and paramedics a nice bump on their paychecks. The fire department was seeking a pay raise ever since their collective bargaining agreement ended in September. Now, under this new deal, the city will spend an extra $200,000 a year to make life a little more comfortable for their employees, those who put their lives on the line every day. Mayor Jerry Taylor said, quote, "We had to dip into our reserves to take care of this. We want to show the fire department that we appreciate what they do."